Good morning everyone, Father Stephen here at St Thursday's Orthodox Church in Stelham. Today, the 7th of September, is the eve of the Nativity of Our Lady, the Mother of the Lord. And so we are anticipating the celebration today. And the Nativity of Our Lady is the first great feast of the new Orthodox Church year. Only 2 weeks ago, at the end of the previous Church's year, we were celebrating the Dormition of Our Lady. And in the apse above the altar, there is an icon showing Our Lady with her hands in prayer and our Lord in her heart. And this is the icon of the Mother of God of the Seal. And we look at Our Lady in that icon and see her embracing the whole Church of God and all humanity. Remember that the position of Our Lady at the foot of the cross as our Lord was dying. And as our Lord was dying, he was thinking of his mother. And there she stood at his feet, weeping in great anguish to see her son crucified. And beside her was the beloved disciple, St. John. And our Lord, in his dying words, said to his disciple, "Behold your mother." And this is a very important part of our Orthodox spiritual life. We see in Our Lady our own spiritual mother, and she exemplifies the essence of our Christian life. We see in her the most important human being ever to have existed, because she brought God into the world. And that's why the Gospel just read was so important, because Our Lady had learned of the coming birth of St. John the Baptist, the son of Elizabeth and Joachim, and it's important to rejoice in that fact as Our Lady approached the babe John the Baptist leapt in his mother's womb. And Elizabeth said to Mary, "How is it that the mother of my Lord should come to me?" And no Hebrew woman could ever utter such a thing had she not believed that in her womb was the messenger of the Messiah. Yes, we are celebrating the birthday of Our Lady. The actual details of that event is not recorded in the Gospels, but we do have the record of the Gospel of St. James, the Proto-Evangelium. And this is a very early document in the life of the Church, and this St. James was the son of St. Joseph the Betrothed by his first wife. And it is St. James who tells us about the barrenness of Anna, the mother of Our Lady. She was an old woman, and her husband Joachim was a very old man, and they were distressed at not having a child, because that was thought to be a condemnation by God in Israel. The story resembles a little bit of the parents of the prophet Samuel, and a little bit also resembling the story of Abraham and Sarah. They too were elderly, but by the grace of God, Sarah was able to conceive in her old age, Hannah was able to conceive in her old age, and now Anne conceives in her old age, even when it is beyond nature to do so. Nothing is impossible with God. And after much prayer on the part of both Anna and Joachim, Anna was told by the Archangel Gabriel that she would indeed bring forth a child, and Anna promised that if she was able to bear a child, even in her old age, she would give that child back to God. And this is indeed what happened, because to the great joy of Anna and Joachim, a baby girl was born. And Mary grew in beauty and love and affection and modesty and humility, and in obedience to her promise, Anne gave her little girl Mary at 3 years old to God, and took her to the temple, and there she remained until she was about 12 or so, and old enough to be betrothed. And the priest in the temple had chosen Joseph, an old man, to be her guardian. His own children had grown up. And so Mary, in her tender years of 12 or 13, became the stepmother of all Joseph's children, who were evidently older than her. But there we go, that's how the mystery of God works. And so this is why we celebrate this feast today, Mary coming into the world to be the mother of the Son of God. And this feast was celebrated very early on in the life of the church, at first in the church in Jerusalem, which is quite natural, and the early fathers refer to it, and Ignatius, the second bishop of Antioch, also refers to it in his early letters. But the full expression of the feast, we think, did not